The UE Fits have finally arrived, and they are addressing one of the most important aspects of any and all true wireless earbuds: comfort. They are doing this by bringing custom molded ear cushions to the true wireless earbud market to provide unprecedented levels of comfort. But does it really work? Is this comfort sufficient enough to justify that price tag? In this video, I'll be answering both of those questions along with giving you my complete review to let you know whether or not these are worth your hard-earned money. My name is Jeff, and if you have any questions or concerns about the way that I receive or review any of the products on my channel, please refer to the full disclosure that I'll leave for you in the description box right down below. So now, let's not waste any more time. First up, let's talk about that connection. So these are running Bluetooth 5.0 along with AAC, SBC, and aptX as their connection codecs. They also have a range of 36 feet or just under 11 meters. Now obviously that's going to vary depending on how many walls you put in between the earbuds and the device that they're connected to. When it comes to video lag or latency, this is minimal to non-existent. So if you're watching videos on YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, any of the apps, it is not going to be an issue. Now when it comes to gaming, if you're going to be playing casual games, latency is almost non-existent. If we're going to be playing first-person shooters like me playing Call of Duty, things of that nature, it is almost imperceptible. There's a little bit there, but that aptX really reduces that latency, so it is working very, very well on your Android devices. Now, this is also compatible with iOS, but there is slightly more latency on iOS when it comes to gaming, so just keep that in mind. Now, last but not least, these are also featured in dual connect or independent usage mode. So this is where you can use one earbud and leave the other one charged in the case and then swap them out, or vice versa. So you've got that option. Now, this is the old school style of independent usage. So basically when you're doing that swap, the music stops and then it reconnects, and then you have to push play and then the music starts again. A little clunky, but that's how it works. Now, one of the other very important factors to any set of true wireless earbuds is going to be that battery. So they were claiming 8 hours worth of playback time on a single charge and then 20 hours total with the earbuds and the case combined. In my own actual testing, I managed to pull 6 hours and 41 minutes at 75% volume. And then with the case, I managed to recharge them 1.5 to 2 additional times. So battery life is a little bit on the lacking side, but I'll talk more about that towards the end of this video. As far as charging the case itself, you do have USB-C on board. When it comes to the case, you've got this smooth gloss painted finish with the Ultimate Ears logo ghosted in right on the top. Sort of a medium-sized case, not too big, not too small, but overall, pretty nice. Sadly, I do see that glossy paint job getting scratched up pretty easily, so that's something you want to kind of keep in mind. Probably don't want to have it in the same pocket as your keys. So now let's move over to the comfort and controls. Now, comfort is what these earbuds are about. The UE Fits hit the market because they're using the custom molded ear tips. So that is a big selling point for these earbuds. Now, for me, the process wasn't perfect. The very first time I went ahead and molded them to my ears, they came with the medium-sized tips. The left one fit me okay, but the right one was still loose after the molding process. So I was not getting a good seal and sound quality was lacking on the right side. But thankfully, I reached out to their customer support and they went ahead and sent out a set of the large size ear tips. So I went ahead and went through the molding process once again, and that really took care of things for me. Perfect seal, comfort, everything was 100%. So how does that work, right? You go through the process. So make sure if you're buying these, make sure you don't open these ear tips until you have the app and you're ready to mold. Don't open them up because any ambient light will start that hardening process. But basically they're soft gel ear tips and they use light and heat to mold themselves to the inside shape of your ears. And with that, they're easily the most comfortable true wireless earbuds that I have ever worn. No ear fatigue whatsoever, 2-3 hour listening sessions. No problems whatsoever. My ears feel perfectly fine. So that is something that I have to give them major kudos for because incredibly comfortable. Not only that, because they're molding themselves to your ears and they're getting that perfect shape, you're also getting excellent passive noise isolation. So there's no active noise cancellation here. And some people were complaining about that. But with this level of passive noise isolation, it can easily be forgiven. So superior comfort and really good noise isolation when it comes down to it. So that brings us to that first question from the beginning of this video. Does it work? 100%. Absolutely yes. Once I got the correct size ear tips for my large ears and did that second molding process, it was perfection. So this is something that I am truly impressed by. So does it work? Yes, 100%. When it comes to the controls, these are using touch control. And now with the recent firmware update, you can actually do single tap and double tap. And in the UEFITS app, you can customize what those functions do. So that is something that is available to you there. And now, speaking of the UEFITS app, it is available for both Android and for iOS. And this is something that is absolutely necessary for you to complete that molding process. So as I said before, make sure you have the app on your phone ready to go before you start that process. Now, it also offers you the ability to do firmware updates if they are needed. You can customize those controls, as I said before, and it also gives you some EQs. So you have some presets, and there's a bunch of built-in ones that you can kind of play around with. They also have a customizable one if you want to create your own. For me, the overall best one was the UE signature sound, but more on the sound quality a little bit later in this video. But overall, the app, it works well, tells you the battery life and all that stuff. So overall, it's pretty clean and fairly useful. So now let's move over to the performance of these earbuds. Let's start with the volume. So these are coming in at an 8.5 out of 10 on my scale. So with a 0 being, useless and a 10 being the loudest things that I've ever heard, these are an 8.5. So loud. For me, comfortable listening comes in around 70 to 85%. So I still have a little bit of overhead if I run into any quiet dialogue in a video I'm watching, or maybe on an audiobook that I might be listening to. So now, when it comes to the sound quality, the best way that I can describe it to you is going to be warm and rich. But let's start with the bass. The bass here is tight and accurate. It's not boomy or bloated or anything like that. So if you're one of those bass heads that's looking for that rumble, these aren't really going to be the ones for you. So think more mid-bass, less sub-bass. So not along those lines. It's strong, but it's only strong as it needs to be without rolling into the mids or kind of messing up the sound. So it's very accurate. Now, when it comes to the mid-range, this is more of a mid-forward kind of a sound. So warm and rich, as I said before, and this is where male vocals really come into shine. Not saying the female vocals don't sound good, but when you listen to something like Chris Stapleton or Otis Redding or Al Green, that's where the shine really comes through with these earbuds. And then over on the treble, it's detailed and articulate. There's good clarity without being fatiguing. There's even some pretty decent stage and some instrument separation. It's not IEM level, nothing along those lines, but it's still pretty good for a set of true wireless earbuds. I am definitely impressed here. Overall, like I said, warm and rich, but still nicely balanced. Not too much bass, not too much treble, but just right in the middle. And overall, it actually sounds pretty good if you ask me. And as I said before, for me, playing with the different EQs, the best one overall was the UE signature sound. For me, it sounded the best by far. Better than anything that I could create. So now let's move over to any cons, negatives, any concerns that I might have with these earbuds. So first, the lack of an ambient or transparency mode. Now, I can forgive the lack of ANC because of the strong passive noise isolation. But because of that strong passive noise isolation, this is why a good transparency mode is incredibly useful for a set of earbuds like this, because you're blocking out so much of that noise with that exceptional seal that you're going to constantly have to be pulling them out to make sure there's nobody around you, any kind of traffic, or if somebody wants to speak to you. So that's something of concern that I think could be easily addressed if UE wanted to do that. Next, it's going to be that clunky independent mode, the one I was telling you about in the beginning, where when you make that switch, it stops the music and then you have to push play again to get it to restart. Kind of a pet peeve, but considering we're in 2021, I was expecting a little bit more out of them. One of the bigger ones that I have here is going to be the smallish battery. So 1.5 to 2 recharges on that case. For a case its size, it's not like it's the tiniest case. It's also not the largest case, but I was expecting at least 3 or 4 recharges on that case. When it's only 1.5 to 2, that's kind of rough, man. I mean, I think we can do a little bit better here, to be completely honest. So this is what's going to bring me over to that second question. Does the comfort justify that price tag? I can put it like this. For me, it does not. Now, I am blessed with large ears, which means that most true wireless earbuds fit me very well. I don't have a lot of trouble with earbuds causing me fatigue or anything like that. Not very often. It happens, but not very often. So I have a lot of options out there for me. So the price tag coming in this high and then having this overall lack of a feature set, we don't have ambient sound. There's no noise cancellation. There's no wireless charging, no Bluetooth 5.2 or advanced chipset. There's no aptX adaptive, things like that. For me, it's a bit of a deal breaker. Like, there's so many other options for me on the market that are bringing me all the features that I want at a lower price that I just kind of wouldn't justify it for just that level of comfort. But there is a market for those people, because there are people who need that level of isolation, who are having a lot of trouble with regular earbuds, and they need something that's going to mold to their ears to give them that fit. I can see the type of people that would need something like this, and that totally does make sense. But just for me, on a personal level, just being selfish and just talking about my own ears, no, it would not be worth it for me. And if you're along the same lines as me, where you don't have a lot of trouble with earbuds, that comfort might not be worth it for you. So this is something that I consider constructive criticism for Ultimate Ears. As a first edition version of this product, this is a strong outing, but I think you can do better. I think you can bring some added features, some added usability to these, and improve that battery life, especially for the price that we're charging here. So that's something that I hope they can take and make some improvements. And then when we get the next version of the UE Fits, we'll have some serious contenders here, especially around this price mark. Either that or bring that price down, one or the other. So now let's get into some call quality tests. This way you can hear how these microphones perform for phone calls.
All right, so here we have the call quality test for the UE Fits. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what you can expect outdoors in a semi-breezy environment. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the call quality test indoors for the UE Fits. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is the call quality you can expect in a semi-quiet indoor environment. Testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the call quality down in the comment section.
Now, with all of that out of the way, if you're interested in checking out some of my other videos on true wireless earbuds, check out the videos that I'm going to leave right up here on the screen. With all that said, I'm out of here. Peace.